Hi, I'm Christina from the School of Home Ownership, and again today I have Jennifer Crawford, who is an architect from our new home coach. So Jennifer has previously, in a previous video podcast, was discussing how important it is to have efficient use of space with architecture, and we were discussing a 6 square metre space, and we are in it. So Jennifer's going to take us through the process so we can have a real example of how important it is to be able to have an architect really efficiently use your space and make the most out of your home. So take us through.
Okay, thanks Christina. Well, yeah, here we are in what I like to call the world's smallest project. I tell people about the 6 square metres of floor area and how can that make a difference? Well, in this particular case, we're currently standing in the kitchen, and before we did the project, the external wall to this kitchen was in line with these lights, and the area that we're standing in was a courtyard space.
So for the listeners, that's 1.5 metres difference.
Yes, so in this project, the client didn't have anywhere to entertain people, and so she was actually considering moving home because she couldn't really invite people over because there was nowhere for them to sit. So all we did here is we moved a wall from the edge of the kitchen, as you said, 1.5 metres, and added an extra 1.5 metres of floor area in the kitchen. That meant that she had somewhere for people to sit on the other side of a peninsula bench top. It's 4 metres long, and we added this amazing sliding glass door that gives a great indoor-outdoor relationship between the kitchen and a small courtyard area. And it's just this small area of 6 square metres that has then meant that she can entertain, invite people, and has totally transformed how she lives in the house.
Yes, and this house is in Balmain, so
yes.
it's a townhouse?
Yes, so it's a small townhouse, 2-storey townhouse, and it's quite constrained on where you can actually build, because it has another house immediately behind it and houses on either side, so there's not a real lot of options in terms of how you can add more space to the house. It did have this small courtyard area that was really underutilised, and by taking that extra 1.5 metres has almost generated a completely new room in the house.
So the courtyard itself was, what size would you say?
Previously it was about 3 metres wide by 4 metres long, and you could fit a table there, but it meant, and there's a window from the kitchen, so you could look out onto it, but it didn't really feel part of the space. This new glass door, sliding glass door, that you can completely open up, has meant that connection between the courtyard and the kitchen is so much greater. And now it almost feels like that courtyard is an extension of the house itself.
I think we should have a look at these doors because they really make the difference.
Yes, in this particular project, it was this door that either could make or break the project. And while the door itself is not cheap, so this is a $10,000 door, but I said to the client at the time, you invest in this and this makes the project work. And she agreed, and she was happy to do that, and that's really the key part of the whole project.
So this is obviously got a lot of light. So we've moved from a small window?
From a small window above the kitchen bench that kind of looked out, but was really disconnected between the kitchen and the courtyard.
That's a very architectural thing to say, disconnected. So we've got this door, and you're saying the bifold. So how does it work? Let's just see it work.
Yeah, so this is an open enclosure, a frameless sliding glass door. And so how we open it, the reason why we chose this door is because we have such limited space. And often when you have bifold doors, when you open them, they actually take up a lot of space in the room. But this, as you can see, the panels just slide along the track.
And I think Bronwyn was saying that, if it's too windy or whatever, she'll have 2 panels.
Yeah,
And
so you can choose how many panels you want to open or close, and when it's completely open, the space really feels connected inside and out, and they take minimal space, and it just makes such a difference to the project.
So is it rude to ask, so how much would this project cost?
This project, well, keep in mind that building costs have escalated over the last 18 months. This was finished about 2.5 years ago, so building costs are different now, but this sort of project is probably around $100,000 to $120,000.
So this all would have been built up as well. So
it's
there
just
something above there?
There's nothing above here because the original external wall was in line with these lights. So it's just this piece of new roof, this piece of new floor, this piece of wall, and the slight, internal changes there, and then new kitchen and new lights and things like that.
Yeah, so it includes the kitchen.
Yeah.
So the renovation included this lovely kitchen and the appliances, etc.
Yes.
And I think it's also worth mentioning you've got all these clever little cupboards and extra space down there as well.
Yes, when you have really small spaces, it's trying to get as much efficiency as possible. So using every nook and cranny is useful.
Yeah, so this made a massive difference, and we'll have before and after photos. And the courtyard's still there?
Yeah, the courtyard's still there, and it's actually more usable when you open up the doors because of that indoor-outdoor connection. The courtyard is still a more usable space.
Okay, so previously you would have to go around to the side, open that door. So if you couldn't actually host.
Yeah, so previously when the courtyard was there and the wall was here, there were like 3 disjointed spaces. So you couldn't necessarily talk between the kitchen and the courtyard or the kitchen and the living room. But now with this connection, it's more open and connected for people.